What's happening, everybody? Trey here, and today, reactions to the classics. Going to be reacting to one of the biggest selling EPs of all time, Alice in Chains' Jar of Flies. I want to shout out a longtime patron and friend of the channel, Carl, who has been suggesting these and has been taking us through the Alice in Chains journey up to this point, man. I've heard so much great things about Jar of Flies. I know 3 of the 7 songs on here already and really enjoyed them, so I'm looking forward to checking out the whole thing in its proper form right here. So all that to say, man, let's just dive into the quick facts of this record. Got a lot of interesting kind of backstory on it. It was their 3rd EP, coming after their SAP EP in '92, which I also have a reaction to as well. It was released in January of '94, first EP in music history to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart. I'm going to say that again, ladies and gentlemen, because that is history. First EP in music history to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. Also was nominated for a Grammy for Best Recording Package, and in April of 2019, it was ranked number 42 on Rolling Stone's 50 Greatest Grunge Albums of All Time. I'm already going to say that just seems low to me. You're telling me there's 41 grunge records that are better than this? I find that hard to believe, man. But let's continue to rock and roll through it. It was well received by critics and has since been certified triple platinum, selling 4 million copies worldwide, making it one of their most successful releases. Following the band's '93 world tour for Dirt, Mike Starr got fired, their bassist, and that was due to his drug use. He was replaced by Ozzy Osbourne bassist Mike Inez, and he joined the band. The members returned home to Seattle after the end of their Lollapalooza tour and found themselves evicted from their residence after failing to pay the rent. Homeless, the band then moved into the London Bridge studio in Seattle. Just a wild story, especially with how, great their work was up to this point, and, how well Dirt was selling. Just goes to show you, man, that even for a band like AIC selling all these records, that the finances aren't as big, I think, as some of us might feel that aren't in the music industry. During AIC's June to August '93 appearance at Lollapalooza, Jerry Cantrell called record producer Toby Wright with a proposal to collab on new material. Wright reacted positively and booked 10 days at the London Bridge studio. Despite Jerry's assurances, the band did not have any planned tracks before the session began. Drummer Sean Kinney had said, quote, "After playing loud music for a year, we'd come home and the last thing we wanted to do was crank up the amps right away. That stuff was written on buses and whenever we had downtime. We did Jar of Flies to see how it was to record with bassist Mike Inez. We just went into the studio with no songs written to check out the chemistry. It all fell into place. The sounds and tones were really good. We thought it would be a waste not to put that material out." Lane Staley said, quote, "I just wanted to go into the studio for a few days with our acoustic guitars and see what happened. We never really planned on the music we made at that time to be released, but the record label heard it and they really liked it. For us, it was just the experience of 4 guys getting together in the studio and making some music." The album session lasted 14 to 18-hour days, but the recording was complete within an entire week. And that's interesting to note, too, because on the SAP EP, they knocked it out in 4 or 5 days. So making quick work of it, have to, with the cost of that studio time, I'm sure. Staley wrote much of the album's lyrics within the studio and arranged the album's vocal harmonies. Wright recalled the pace of Staley's work is quick and that the vocal tracks were recorded within 1 or 2 takes. The album's title originates from a science experiment that Jerry Cantrell conducted in 3rd grade. The experiment consisted of maintaining 2 jars full of flies. The flies in one jar would be overfed, while the flies in the other jar would be underfed. The flies that were overfed reproduced rapidly, but then died from overcrowding. The flies that were underfed managed to survive throughout the year. Kind of an interesting little note right there, but all that to say, man, let's kick this thing off. I'm excited. I do know the first 3 tracks. A couple have been brought to me on live streams. One from Carl, actually, and then Nutshell, which is our 2nd track, might be my favorite AIC tune. One of my favorite songs, maybe of all time, honestly. So we're gonna kick this thing off though with Rotten Apple, the longest tune on this EP, at about 7 minutes. So let's get diving into this one. Wow, Rotten Apple, what a way to kick off this EP, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you're starting with this, you're gonna be in you're gonna be in for an absolute treat. I've only heard this song once or twice, and I don't know if I've ever had the lyrics up as I'm listening to it, and I just love a lot about this. I think we can start with the intro. The guitar work by Jerry Cantrell is just fantastic in that bit, and at the end as well, as I was noting a little bit in the reaction, the way Cantrell's able to get these unique sounds and tones from his guitar just by the different effects and whatnot, it's always very impressive to me. And Lane coming in here on fire on his vocal delivery, and the lyricism as well. I thought the catchy nature of the hey na na na, it was just wonderful in the stark contrast to how dark the song could get at times. He notes innocence is over, and that's another songwriting technique I thought was cool. Innocence is over, hey na na na, oh over, or he Lane took whatever the word that ended a line and then said it again, broke it up into multiple different syllables, kind of stretched out the word, and that just made it a bit hypnotic. Really enjoyed that about it. And then the chorus comes in, yeah, what I see is unreal. I've written my own part. Eat of the apple so young, I'm crawling back to start. As somebody well versed in the Bible, you can't help but think of eat of the apple and not think of Adam and Eve eating of the apple, losing that innocence. And I think Lane's using that metaphor here. With whatever the case is here, I think it's you can fall into the trap, especially knowing how Lane's life unfortunately ended up. I was reading everything. Oh, he's talking about heroin or drugs or whatever the case may be. That is a little bit of my interpretation on this song, but I think you got to be cautious about that. But you can also interpret it probably in any situation where you're knocked out, that innocence that you once had is lost, and those trials and suffering have really come down in your life, man. So he's kind of down in this hole, and he notes, I'll repent tomorrow, I suspend my sorrow. And he just continues. It just has that sense of melancholy throughout the whole track, and mixed with Cantrell's guitar work, it's just fantastic, man. And as good as this song is, and it is absolutely great, it still isn't as good as this next track, man. Nutshell. As I noted, it's between this and Wood for my favorite AIC jams, man. I really, really love this song. It's also known to have opened their MTV Unplugged performance. Lyrics were written by Lane, and the music was written by bassist Mike Inez and Jerry Cantrell. Mike said of Nutshell when asked what song makes him think of Lane's Daily the most, quote, I think the number one for me is Nutshell. Lane was very honest with his songwriting, and in Nutshell, he really put everything in a nutshell for everybody. That song still gets me choked up whenever I play it, get a little teary-eyed, and sometimes when we're doing the arena runs especially, they have some video footage of Lane, and I look and see me and Jerry and Sean looking the wrong way. We're not looking at the audience, we're looking back at Lane, and it's pretty cool that there's still that song for us. It's just a sad thing. It was never released as a single, but it is one of AIC's best known songs. And in 2013, this was ranked the number 9 on Rolling Stone Readers Poll of the 10 saddest songs of all time. So it kind of says it all right there. If you've never heard this, man, you were in for a treat. All right, Nutshell, bringing it, man. No matter how many times you hear it, man, still packs a punch for me, and I think that's where that's why I place it in such high regard, man. I think that's a true mark of a really great song. Is no matter how many times you hear it, you're still moved by it. It still makes you feel something. And Nutshell really encapsulates that, and I think Lane is just bearing his soul here, and you can't do anything but appreciate that, and you feel his pain as well, man. You feel that empathy for him. He notes here, we chase misprinted lies, we face the path of time, and yet I fight this battle all alone. No one to cry to, no place to call home. We get that image of a guy who is just out here in isolation, no one to really tell his problems to and get better with. And then we have the harmonizing in the chorus, just the ooh, just the oohs. That's you don't need anything else after that, because the verses are just so powerful in the lyrical content, man. And the acoustic guitar on this that starts us off. Also carries that sense of melancholy, and then the solo at the end where it kind of cues up the electric guitar. It packs a punch as well emotionally, and I think too Lane's getting to just that what fame's done. He notes his gift to self is raped, his privacy is raked, and yet I find repeating in my head, if I can't be my own, I'd feel better dead, which obviously just packs a big punch, knowing how Lane's life unfortunately ended out, man. But one of the great songs, not only of AIC or of the '90s, but I think of all time. And man, just a powerful listening experience. And we're gonna go now to "I Stay Away." This is one that Carl brought on a live stream, but I've only heard it that one time, so looking forward to having the lyrics with it here. This was the second single on it, went to 10 on the mainstream rock charts, and it was nominated for a Grammy for Best Hard Rock Performance. Jerry Cantrell said of the track that this was the first time we'd written with Mike Inez, which makes this another special song. The whole EP proved to both of us and the fans what a talented and valid part of the band Mike was. He plays the nastiest, darkest shit, but he's got the sweetest heart in the world. Right, I Stay Away, bringing it here, man. I think the highlight on this one for me is when Lane just really belts out "I Stay Away" with such power in his voice, man. One of my favorite vocalists ever. And then that power is contrasted with the sweetness of the strings, the violins that pop up a couple different times on here, man. So really enjoy that. And yet again, Cantrell and Mike are just on fire on the guitar and bass respectively. I like, first two tracks, the bass is a bit more, kind of subdued. Here we get to really unleash Mike Inez a little bit. So yet again, enjoy that. And here we again kind of have that inside perspective on somebody who is going through some stuff, man. Why you act crazy, not an act maybe. So close, a lady, shifty eye, shady. It's tears that soak a callous heart. What a great lyric that is right there. He says, your weakness builds me, so someday you'll see I Stay Away. I can see why this one yet again is so popular, man. A lovely track, definitely has a single written on it in my estimation, man, and just an unbelievably great tune, and might be ranked third on my list of if I were ranking the first three tracks, which just goes to show you how heavy hitting this EP is to start off. And now we're going to what the lead single was. We Have No Excuses, which I don't believe I've ever heard, so I'm looking forward to this. I don't think I've heard any of the remaining four tracks left. It was the first AIC song to reach #1 on the mainstream rock tracks chart. Peaked at 48 on Hot 100, their only song to break the top 50, which just goes to show what the people know, right? Spending a total of 26 weeks on the chart, its use of open ringing strings has been compared to the style of another one of my favorites, REM. The lyrics penned by Jerry Cantrell are thought to be about his unstable relationship with Lane, highlighting both their difficulties as well as their friendship. The final verse seems to come to a resolve in stating that Cantrell will defend Staley, and that should they grow farther apart, he will love Staley anyway. We also have Jerry hopping on vocals on this tune as well. So let's get it going. All right, No Excuses, man. Really dug that one. I thought the co-vocals by Lane and Jerry were just fantastic, especially given the subject matter. Obviously, that's perfect, man. We kind of build up at the start. Somebody, yet again, got no patience to search for peace of mind. Laying low, want to take it slow. No more hiding or disguising truths I've sold. So somebody who is, noting maybe how their behavior is kind of affecting others. Somebody who's been withdrawn. Maybe that's where we get the no more hiding or disguising truths I've sold. And then that chorus comes in. Every day it's something hits me all so cold. You find me sitting by myself. No excuses, then I know. So again, maybe that drifting apart that Lane was having from Jerry at this time, whether that be to the fame or the drug use or whatever the case may be. We continue to go through with some great imagery. Drained in blue, I bleed for you. You think it's funny? Well, you're drowning in it too. We have an awesome guitar solo, as you'd expect by Cantrell. Not too long, 20, maybe 30 seconds at the most. And then we get to my favorite lyric in this song. He notes that leave our rain and cold, trade for warm sunshine. So kind of leave these darker days behind. You, my friend, I will defend. And if we change, well, I'll love you anyway. I just thought that was so powerful and beautiful, especially with both both Lane and Jerry singing that at once, man. Yet again, instrumentation was really top notch all the way around. Very catchy chorus as well, and that's always impressive. Where AIC is, writing about some dark stuff, and yet being able to put it in a package that is catchy in its own right. So. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the Whale and Wasp instrumental, shortest track on here at 2.5 minutes. So let's see what we got. Whale and Wasp, man, an enjoyable instrumental to be sure. I think the main highlight for me was how the guitar was just soaring out and interplaying off that acoustic, which is what we're used to. But as the song continued to progress, we added more and more the fuller sounds around the guitar there. Had a little bit of strings, I think, come up in there as well, again, kind of continued with the more mellow like vibe that we've had throughout this entire EP. And so I don't have too much more to add to that, man. It was a good instrumental there, kind of something different on this EP. So I dug it. Now we will take it to Don't Follow on here. Our penultimate track was the third single, written by Jerry Cantrell, who sings lead vocals in the first part of the track, and then Lane Staley hits the second part of the track up. It spent 7 weeks on the Billboard mainstream rock charts, peaked at 25. Very melancholic and soft, and this is due to the lack of electric instruments. We have a harmonica in here as well, and we have Mike Inez, musician Randy Biro, and Jerry Cantrell's guitar tech are singing backing vocals for the second part of the track. So let's see what we got here. Don't Follow. What a track this was, man. It just shows the versatility that AIC has, man. You'd never associate a harmonica with their type of sound, and yet, man, they pulled this off so well. I loved, I just loved how the guitar, harmonica was just wailing throughout here, and I thought Jerry's verses were so powerful. Yet again, I've said that word a lot here, but the lyricism, man, it just packs a punch. Noting somebody who doesn't like their lot in life and is dipping on out of there, man. Hey, I ain't ever coming home. I'll just wander my own road. I can't meet you here tomorrow. Say goodbye. Don't follow. And then that second verse really, I think, brings in some of the substance issues here. It's pass me down that bottle. You can't shake me round now. I get so lost and don't know how. Yeah, and it hurts to care. I'm going down. I mean, that's pretty plain right there. And then, that's kind of the first half of the song before. Then we add a little bit more instrumentation, give a little bit more upbeat, a bit more of a punch, and Lane just comes in and really just crushes it here in a it's not like a bluesy type of song, but when you hear that harmonica, that kind of makes you think of that. And I liked what Lane was doing with his vocals here, switching things up a little bit, and you just noting how his life is, man. Got no woman, lost my friends, things I'd done and where I'd been. Again, we're coming back to that idea of sleeping in the sweat, see my face, it's growing old, scared to death, no reason why, do whatever to get me by. And then we end, say goodbye, don't follow. So this person is gone in a way through their own hand at certain times and just through life's hardships, I think. And just yet again, I think it fits thematically with the rest of this EP. And we're going to finish this off, ladies and gentlemen, with the track Swing on This. And afterwards, I'll give my favorite songs and overall score to this phenomenal EP. Swing on This, ending us off here. And man, yet again, a lot to like about this. Maybe a song that is an ode to some, not an ode, but there were some similarities in here, especially in Lane's vocal delivery on, I automatically thought of Hate to Feel, like the way that his cadence was in here, like, let me be, I'm alright, can't you see, I'm just fine, little skinny, okay, kind of reminds me of the Hate to Feel, what's gone wrong, I can't see straight, been too long, so full of hate. But all that to say, man, I thought Mike Inez was one of the stars of this one. I really liked how we were able to showcase his bass work on this track. I thought it was fantastic. And, hear people calling out for this guy to return home. Maybe it's the same guy from Don't Follow. And he's not really having much of it. He says, let me be. I'm okay. I'm awake anyway. It's too bright over here. I can shift, cannot steer. Maybe, again, a little tip of the cap to Sick Man. He says, I drive them away for a while, then I stay. You know, that just kind of encapsulates this where I don't really want to be found type of thing. That I think a lot of Don't Follow had, and we kind of continue that here. People can go and reach out for you, try to get you help, but unless you really want to be involved with them, or you know, maybe take that next step to better your life, so to speak, it's not really gonna happen. It's got to come from within, man. But all that to say, really strong EP, man, taking me to my favorite tracks. Obviously, it's got to be Nutshell, got to be Rotten Apple, Don't Follow, I Stay Away. Those are going to be mine. No Excuses was killer too. I mean, this whole EP was absolutely fire. I love the acoustic nature of these tracks. I quite enjoyed the moments where we had the harmonica on Don't Follow, where we had the strings that popped up on I Stay Away. Just very strong musicianship from start to finish, man. Mike Inez did a great job on the bass work as well. Still had some of those guitar solos in there. Showed how great Jerry Cantrell is and the versatility in being able to go with any type of song, man. And Lane was absolutely on fire here on his vocals, as you'd expect. And so all in all, man, I think I'm going to go a 9 out of 10 on this EP. Really enjoyed it. I'm glad that it debuted at number 1. It deserved it, and just some of my favorite AIC tunes are going to be kind of encompassed on this EP right here. A very easy listen. It only 7 songs, and even like Whale and Wasp, the instrumental was cool for what it was. Did something a little bit different. So all that to say, man, thank you, Carl, for suggesting this for me to react to today, man. I really enjoyed it, and I'd like to hear from you, longtime AIC fans as well. What are your thoughts on this EP, and what are your favorite tracks? And be sure to show Carl some love as well. If you'd like to have me do a reaction for you, you can check out our Patreon page, which is linked below and will also be in the end screen here in just a few moments. And be sure to go check out the other AIC videos we have up. We'll be looking at the self-titled record next month, so be sure to hit that big red subscribe button if you aren't already, as we finish out the AIC catalog with Lane involved, of course. So all that to say, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Happy listening, and I will see you.